Here's a quote. It's not what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just isn't so. I first heard this attributed to Mark Twain, the humorist, but I believe in my search it's attributed to Josh Billings, name I've never heard of. But it's still a perfect metaphor for DIY retirement. I consider myself a DIY but I get help from everywhere. I listen, they're all my decisions, but I talk to Neil, my certified financial planner. I have access to him. I have a retirement group. I have you folks giving me all kinds of ideas. I do watch a lot of YouTube channels, but in the end, I'm a DIYer. In a world where you have unlimited access to retirement planning information, there are things that people just look at and think they're for certain that get them into trouble. And I've seen this several times, hundreds of times actually, in the comments. People will say things that are just not true. Most of the comments are great, okay? But there's a lot of people like, I'm scared that you said that. So today I'm going to kind of go through 12 common ones that I've seen. Many of you may know that I did retirement coaching for a couple of years and talked to over 300 clients, and just was inundated with valuable information, great people. But everybody, except for two out of 300, didn't have some misunderstanding, error, or something they knew for sure that I told them, didn't give them advice, but say, you need to check on that a little bit more. So these are things, 12 dangerous traps of overconfidence. Think you know something for sure that just isn't so. So I got this divided into 3 sections. First section is spending and income. Okay. The 80% rule. How many people just believe in the 80% rule? Hey, I spend, I'm going to make this easy numbers for me. 10,000 a month pre-retirement. I'm going to spend 8,000 a month in retirement. 80%. That's what the average is. Well, nobody's average. Everybody's above or below average. You got to be very careful with averages. Especially what makes it personalized is, you're going to be freed up, not just 40 hours a week, but all evenings, all weekends, because you're not tired, you're not playing catch up, and you're going to want to fill that time with something. What are you going to fill it with? Something that's free or something that's expensive? I had one example where a guy said he was going to join a golf club, and it was like $25,000 a year to join. And I said, is that in your budget? He said, no. I went, well, that sounds like a big one. So what are you going to do with your time? You got to work those details. Also, 80%, does that include one-time spending, like a new roof, a wedding? Does that include go-go spending, slow-go spending? What's in there? Just a flat rule of 80%, and being confident of that is a bad idea. Number 2, I got to get my Social Security when I can. The system is broke. It's going to go bankrupt in 2033. I've got to go get it. I got to go get it. And I know that. I know it. But if you live to 90 and you talk to people that are 90 years old, my dad's 89, you just locked in a 30% pay cut. And for a healthy person, delaying to 70, and especially if you're married, seems to make a lot of sense. If you're 60 now, I'm 61. In 30 years, what are medical advances going to result in? What are they going to result in? Also, when you look at the average person, the average male dying at like 83 if they're 61 now, well, that's the average person again, okay? I don't drink. I try to eat healthy. I exercise, okay? Oh, well, where does that put me? Never smoked. Where does that put me on that 83? Probably bumps me up. Actually, I think it's John Hancock. There's an insurance site that has a longevity calculator, and mine says like 96. No, I'm not planning on 96, but get Social Security while you can. That could be a big mistake. Um, Number three, taxes are going to be lower in retirement. Well, let me tell you, yes, they are, but they're still, they are for me. But they're still a major deal to be managed. Okay, Social Security is going to be taxed for me. Required minimum distributions is a big deal. Don't just assume. You got to have projections of those years. When you get, me, it's going to be 75. What are my taxes going to be every year if I do nothing? High returns, low returns, sequence returns, poor market returns at the beginning. How can I model all that? Boldin does a great job of that. Makes it all graphic and says, here's your different tax brackets you're getting into. Makes your decisions super easy. Check out Boldin, free 2 weeks. Good gosh, I don't know how. I don't know how I'd go through retirement without it. I would be spending a lot more money on taxes. I guarantee that. Okay, number 4. Hey, a surviving spouse is nothing to plan for. If anything, one person lives a lot cheaper than two, so why plan for that? 2 spouses is the problem. 2 people going on vacation. That's where higher expenses. No, when one person dies, income drops. Social Security, you're going to drop one of the Social Securities, right? Drop the lower one. Also, that person is now filing as a single. And what's that do to a pension? Pension may go down 50%, 25%, maybe 100%. I've seen all that. So one person doesn't live for half the price of 2 people. Now, yes, travel will be half price generally, but if you go on a cruise and you stay in one room, it's not half price for one person than it is for 2. So it's planning for surviving spouse is a big deal. The next section I've got is portfolio and market overconfidence. This is number 5. The safe 4% rule. Gosh, I hear this a lot. People plan for the 4% rule. I don't know anybody that withdraws money using the 4% rule. I know 0 people that do that. It's a historical number. It was an analysis somebody made and said, hey, if I have a 50-50 portfolio, bonds and equities, and I remove out 4% first year, and then every subsequent year, you add inflation, you'll be just fine. Well, that was at a particular time period's bond yields, equity performance. Who knows what the future is going to be. I think having a flexible plan, like having guardrails, is much better. I think you know what guardrails is. I won't go into that. Number 6, everybody knows the market average is 10%. Well, if you look at the last, 10, 15 years, you say, oh man, the market always goes up. Yeah, we've had a couple blips down, a couple bear markets gone down for, gosh, what was it? 2020 went down for a few months, and then 2022 went down for a few months, longer than 20, but that always bounces back. Well, hey, don't have to go back to 2000 to see quite the different experience. I'll say lost decade. The market goes down 40, 50. I think it went down that period as much as 57%, not in one individual year, but total down 57%. And if you were in growth stocks, you saw the .com. Some people saw 90% drop, and it eventually came back. But man, what a brutal ride. So the market doesn't average 10% all the time. Over long periods of time, historically, it has been a high number, but is it going to be when you're retired? Maybe not, especially at these very high valuations. So be careful there. Diversify, and have. I use buckets to manage sequence of return risk. Okay, number 7 is the active trader ego. There's people that buy and sell all the time. They look at some KPIs, key performance indicators, and they go all in the stock market, and then they come all out, they go all in. And, when you're in a bull market, everybody looks smart. When you're in a down market, that could massacre your plan. So wealth preservation, I call it safety with growth, is so paramount. And it may sound lame, safety first with growth. Come on, Joe, aren't you an aggressive investor? That ego's getting away. Number 8, the cash trap. People moving, oh gosh, the market's down and I'll just move everything to cash. Well, cash feels safe in the moment, but how long are you going to stay at cash and have inflation be those termites just eating away at that? A portfolio loses half of its value in 20 years. Inflation is, you've got to have a great plan for inflation because it's guaranteed. With the deficits we're running and the money printing we're going to keep doing in this country, you've got to have a great plan for inflation. It's not sexy, but you've got to have a plan for inflation. And that's my, why I'm so heavy into stocks. I've got an 83-17 portfolio, 17 fixed, 83 equities, because I believe I have to be strong in equities, not just to be aggressive. I'm trying to, that's my inflation plan. The last section, I call it more blind spots. Couldn't think of a better title. Mortgage equity. A lot of people say, hey, when I retire, I'm going to just downsize. And I'm in a $500,000 house and I'm going to go to a $350,000 house. So I'm going to take that $150,000. Okay. Well, what about the sales commissions of selling your house? What about expenses of moving? What about going into this new home and upgrading it like you like? A lot of friends of mine that have done downsizing actually spent more money. Okay. Like 10 out of 10 spent more money. So will you really be downsizing and ended up with more money? I think it's a mirage out there. Number 10, longevity. My dad died at 80. I'm making this up. My dad died at 80. His dad died at 75. So I'm only going to put in 80. Well, has medical technology advanced? Yes, it has. Do you live the same lifestyle? Are you in the same environment as your parents? Maybe they worked construction or worked at a farm or worked around some toxic elements. What's different? Maybe I said this, maybe they smoked, drank, didn't exercise. A lot better medicine, a lot better early detection of problems nowadays. I plan on living into my 90s. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But plan on it. Number 11. All of my health insurance problems go away when I'm 65 and get Medicare. Because Medicare is cheap. Everybody affords it. Well, there's something called IRMA. Everybody needs to know what IRMA is. Do you know that IRMA is income-based? These are your supplement premiums, like your drugs and your doctors. The premiums are based on your income, and it could be a lot. It could be a whole lot, and a lot of people get surprised by that. Medicare is very good. It'll be a cheaper option for me than I'm currently paying. I'm currently paying about $1,400 a month for my wife and I. It's a very good plan, and that's vision and dental. Very happy with that, but Medicare is not going to be free. Number 12, hey, my mind's sharp, and I'm going to be active for, till I'm dead, till I'm 90. Reality is cognitive decline is serious. It's real. We all think we're going to be sharp forever. And also, can you manage a complex DIY portfolio when you're 70, when you're 75, when you're 80? Cognitive decline as we live older is a reality. What's your plan? May not have a plan. You may have a ticking time bomb where nobody can understand your plan. So, in conclusion, retirement isn't a one-time math problem that you solve. It's a 30-year stress test. It's always being stress tested. The danger I see in most people's retirement plan is not the stock market, it's your actions. And it's often the things that you know for sure. So Plan for flexibility. That is my message today, is plan for flexibility. What if you're wrong? What if the market goes down? What if it's high? What if you die early? What if you die late? What if Social Security is here? What if it's not? What if it's tax rates are this? What if the RMDs change to, they change the rule around RMDs? Be flexible. Have money in different asset locations. I have money in Roth. I'm trying to build that. I have money in traditional IRA. I have money in a brokerage account. Try to be flexible. And, being flexible may not get you the maximum returns, but flexibility is what you need over 30 years, because you just don't know what's going to happen. 12 myths I just, of overconfidence I just reviewed. This week, pick one of these and stress test it. Go into your Boldin software, go into your Excel spreadsheet, and model dying at 62. Model dying, 1 year from where you are right now. What does that do to your overall plan? What's that do to your Monte Carlo score? What's that do to your expenses, taxes? Expect to be amazed. Your future self will thank you for stress testing your plan and assuming you could be wrong. This Joe out.